Okay. Let's help you with that. Okay. And okay, so hi Jacob. So we were waiting for you. So we are on the point of DNS attack. Like we are going through the network level attacks. So we are on the DNS attack as for now. So here I'm just helping you know to understand like what is DNS attack, or we can also call it as the DNS hijacking. Okay. So based on this diagram, can anyone help me like what's happening over here? You can just look at the arrows, like what is the first, second, and third, which will give you like what's exactly happening over here. I will help you. I'll provide you a hint so that you'll be able to understand like what's happening. Can anyone tell me anything, any basic from this? What you're thinking of it, like what's happening over here?
Um,
So
the attacker attacks the victim and then by going to the DNS server, and then the DNS server gives out the information about the victim to and gives it to the attacker.
okay, so what I will do, I'll just help you to understand better. So let's consider. Um, okay. Um, okay. So help you to understand it more better. Okay. So I will help you to understand like what's happening over here. Like let's consider this is the victim, or this is like the common man, or like consider yourself, Jacob Justice, that what you're doing, you're requesting that I want to visit www.facebook.com, this website. Okay. So whenever we go on to browser and we just type the address over here, okay, it will not take much of our time. Okay. But the thing is, uh, a request has been sent from our system to the DNS server, which helps us to resolve the IP associated to that domain or that website to which you're heading towards. and it will then respond you by giving the IP, and then automatically will land on to the page, the authentic page or the genuine page, which is associated to Facebook, right? But what attackers will do, they will compromise or they will hijack this DNS server. Okay, in their own manner, they will do. They will just hijack it. What will happen? They will monitor the request that you have sent. Like for example, you have sent www.facebook.com. What they will do, they will, while sending a response to you, like for example, any request that we make, let's make any other. Let's consider Netflix, Netflix.com. So it takes like milliseconds that the request. So as you have observed, like it has took like around 0.1 second. Say. So in this 0.1 second, what the DNS does, it helps us to get the IP and then helps us to this page. But what happens in between is the process, right? The process or the operation, it happens at the DNS server end. But what happens? This attacker will hijack the DNS server, and instead of getting the real IP, you will get the IP which is fake. Okay, so like for example, you should get the IP of the real IP of Facebook as 1.2.3.4, and you should land on to this genuine page. But what will happen? Attacker will compromise the DNS server and will respond you with the IP which is not real, which is redirecting you to a website which is not of Facebook, which is something else. Means you understood the whole concept. Means like for example, like I'm sending you, like let's consider you both are the DNS servers for me. Just for an example, you both are the DNS server for me. So I have sent a request that I want to visit this particular website. Okay, so what will happen if I compromise any of your account or any of your operations or any of your process or work? So, like for example, you will respond me by like I'll send you a request. You're sending me the response for that. While in between, we can say like for example, this response is not the legit one. I can say like for example, you will get compromised. Like for example, the Jacob and Justice will get compromised, and you will not provide me with the genuine IP. You will provide me the IP which will redirect me to the attacker's website. So this is nothing but the DNS attack or the DNS hijacking, we can call it. Means the function of the DNS gets compromised. Means here, as I have considered you both as my DNS server, so you both are compromised. So you are not sending me the legitimate IP to which I should land on. Instead of that, I'm just landing on to a page which is not the legit and it is associated to the attacker. Means you understood the whole scenario, Justice Jacob. Means what is DNS attack and how it happens and what gets compromised and where we get landed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there are like various techniques of hijacking the DNS. Okay. So hijacking can be based on the session hijacking. Like for example, they are just not hijacking the DNS server, but they are hijacking the session which you had with that DNS server. Like for example, they got to know that user from this system is making this kind of request, and they have just got to know that this is something request which has come. So they in between will interrupt or intercept the DNS traffic and will give their own response. And what will happen? You will end on to the page which is not associated to us. This is nothing but the DNS attack, DNS hijacking, we can call it as. You can relate it with the plane hijacking. Like for example, if you hijack any of the aeroplanes, So what will happen? We'll hijack the plane and we will operate it as per our instructions, right? Similar, same thing happens with the DNS server. They will hijack it and they will operate it as per their instructions or commands. Now, let's move on to the ARP poisoning. So, what does the ARP stands for? Any one of you? Any hint? You can tell me about A or R or P. It doesn't matter. You go step by step. Any assumptions on ARP? What is ARP? Okay, no problem. So ARP is nothing but the address resolution protocol. You can just note it down. And whenever we make any kind of request, okay, so it will means like for example this Netflix one, okay. So you may think that this has happened within 0.1 second. I have reached to the right page, okay, but in between many process has happened. Like for example, my system has gone through the switch or the hub or the router, we can call it as the service which we are using, the internet service which we are using. Okay, so have the switch, we have the routers, have the LAN gateway if we are connected to any kind of LAN, we have the VPNs. So we have many sorts of thing in between through which our traffic gets passed and we get landed onto a page where we want to go, right? So what happens? So what is where does the address resolution exactly stands? And what is ARP poison? Okay. So if we talk about the ARP poisoning, what will happen? I'll help you to understand. We'll make it more simpler for you, like what exactly is happening. So let's consider this as the user. Okay. There's a difference between address resolution. If the ARP gets spoofed or if the ARP gets poisoned, then what will happen? So I'll just help you to understand that. I hope the last diagram was understandable to you and you got your knowledge base of what is DNS attack. Any doubts in the last diagram? Justice Jacob?
Yes, I had a
Advertising.
question
Yeah, please. Yeah.
on the DNS, right? You said DNS, it involves when an attacker, hijacks uh,
Yeah.
like a section or um, like when someone is, for example, like Facebook to a Facebook account. So
Yeah,
an attacker can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Yes, yes.
Yeah. DNS is just domain name server, right? So
Yeah,
it goes to the attacker's IP. So my question is, for example, a website like Amazon, for example. So
yeah,
if there is a DNS attack on the Amazon, on
yeah,
Amazon, so will I be
yeah.
able to see the basic Amazon homepage to search?
Yeah. So we were on to the Amazon point. So can you just make it like little bit clear, Jacob?
Okay, let me say an attacker is performing a DNS attack on my system, right?
Okay, okay,
And I'm searching Amazon.com. I'm going to Amazon website. So
okay.
how can the attacker do that, perform that attack, that someone will not know that is not the original Amazon website? Because will I see a different Amazon website, or will I see the same Amazon website because I know Amazon website?
No, you will see sometimes like you will not even see the Amazon website. So they are not compromising your system or your account, you can say, Jacob. They are compromising the DNS server where your request will be sent. Like for example, there is a mediator in between the request that you are making and the request which is getting approved, and you will get land on to the right page, right? Like for example, I want to visit any website, so it gets passed in between. Parsed means it gets detected or identified. Like for example, if I'm typing the domain amazon.com, so DNS server to where traffic first reaches, so they are able to find that yeah, this domain is associated to this IP, and I can help the user to land down this legit page which is hosted on this particular IP. So they will help us to land down to that legit page, right? But if the DNS server itself get hijacked, then the thing is you will not get onto the right page. Then it operates as per the attacker instructions, and then the attacker, if he wants you to land onto the page which is not the legitimate, so that will happen in a check. So they are not compromising your system; they are compromising the DNS server to which your request first goes. Means you understood, Jacob?
Saying they're compromising the Amazon server.
Yeah, they are compromising the Amazon server or the DNS server. It's not the Amazon server we can call it as, it's the DNS server which is in between. Okay, DNS resolution server we call it. Means there is a difference between the web server which you are visiting and the DNS server which is in between. Like for example, let's consider Google. Okay, so where do you search about Amazon? Where you will search that? You will search it on the Google, right? Okay, or else you will directly paste it over here, Amazon. Okay, I've just typed Amazon, right? So now here what has happened, the request which I have written Amazon, I've just written Amazon, right? So it has given me different web portals or different web pages which are linked to Amazon. Okay, so now in this, let's find any odd indication or anything odd in this. Okay, just give me a minute. Just help me to understand. Okay. So here, whatever the response that we got based on the request made, it is absolutely right, right? Because here www.amazon.com is there. Here also the same we have. So like different, we are not getting something which is illegitimate or which is not true. Okay. But sometimes what will happen? Let's consider. Let's click on this one. Okay. It is giving us the right IP. Okay. But sometimes what will happen? It will create a they will create the duplicate page. Like for example, here I have just removed the A and I have created, let's consider I have created the duplicate page. And here everything is hosted. Everything same page. It's like a similar type of page is been created by the attacker, and you will automatically get land on to this page. Check out. Means you know
Okay.
where you understood like where is exactly the DNS server is. Our any request that we make in the internet, it doesn't goes by bypassing the DNS server. Okay, we cannot bypass the DNS server because if we are bypassing the DNS server, we will not get the right results or we will not get the right page or will not get any information. You can say. Okay, DNS is nothing but a domain name system. Okay, domain name system means you're typing the domain over here. Okay, and domain name system will help you to land on to the IP which is associated to that domain. Okay, but if they are compromising the domain name system itself, then they will land on to the IP. Then they will help you to land on to the IP which is not legit. So, means you understood the whole concept, Jacob?
Yes, yes, I do. So
Yeah,
another
yeah,
question. So
yeah, yeah.
that means anyone performing man in the middle attack can either perform like the DNS attack, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's like similar. Like here, someone in the middle has compromised the DNS server or has hijacked the DNS server, and now they are governing that server or operating that server. So they are operating it in a manner that every time whenever you make any request, so it depends on them, like what kind of response they want to give for the request that you have. Okay, because DNS is something which is operated automatically. Once you enter the domain, they have the list of IPs already in their records. If not, they will search and they will provide you the results. Right? It's like a help desk for us. DNS is nothing but a help desk for us, where whenever we type anything on the Google or anything on our browser, the request is made to the help desk, and help desk will help us with the right results for that. Right? But if the help desk gets compromised, then what will happen? You can imagine that, Jacob. So, so you understood the whole scenario, Jacob, now?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and the help desk or the DNS system or the DNS is compromised by the third party, who is not the owner of that. Means you understood now, Jacob.
Oh yes, I do. I do.
Yeah. So just is it's clear for you also, right? So whether you have any doubt on this, Justice, you're there. Okay, no problem. So we were on to the point of ARP poisoning. So what is ARP? ARP is nothing but address resolution protocol. So here let's discuss about what is, yeah, where does it stand? Okay, okay, this is the LAN user. This is also LAN user. There's only one difference in between this both the flow. I will just explain you. This is hub or switch, internet switch that you're having at your home. This will be the same as the LAN gateway. This is also the LAN gateway, and this is internet. Okay, and this is also internet, right? I'll explain you like what's happening, like what's wrong, and how we can. Hopefully, we had like two ways arrows over here that can help us to reduce time over here, but yeah, try first. So any other activities that you're doing at your end, Jacob, Justice, like as you're learning on your daily course, or anything that you're researching or anything that you're utilizing in your daily work, Justice Jacob, can anyone tell me? Like
Mm,
where it is getting
well,
applied?
the try hack me, you know, there are a lot of exercises in the try hack me.
Okay.
And yeah, just reviewing some interview questions. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So here, like we have two diagrams over here. So first diagram is about like normal routing. Normal routing. Okay. And the second one which we are having is not the norm. It's something where the ARP has been spooked or ARP has been poisoned, we can call this. Okay. So now you're using your system, Jacob Justice, right? I will just relate it with your diagram or your system. Okay. So you're holding your own system, right? Both Jacob and Justice. You can just say yes, not trouble you.
But I'm not like on this class on my system though.
Okay. No, now like we are connected on the Google Meet. So you're using your smartphone or system or anything. Like you're using your system, right? Okay. So let's consider this. We are the users and we are connected to a switch or a router or a Wi-Fi at our home, right?
Yes.
And this is the gateway through which we'll reach out to the internet and we'll perform our operations or whatever the search in which we are interested in, etc. So ARP poisoning is something where the what I can say the asset or the element which gets compromised is the hub or a switch that you're using. Means address resolution protocol. Address resolution protocol is something like for example, I'm typing Amazon over here. Okay. And since now you're aware of Amazon, right, Jacob? You're aware of Amazon, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you will resolve my query that I want to reach on to Amazon. So you will like automatically help me that yeah, I am landing onto the right page and the address has got resolved and the right request has been made. Okay. Like for example, I'll just share. Okay. AMZON. Okay. I've just typed it as wrong. Okay. But it has helped me to reach on the right what I can say right link or right information over here. It has not considered AMZON as my right spelling and landing onto something of similar type. It has predicted the right information that even if I have typed it as wrong, but it is something or but I wanted to land onto the page which is legit, which is AMAZON. So here, as you can see here itself, that I have searched for AMZON, but it has helped me to land onto AMAZON. So based on this, we can say that they have resolved my address. they have resolved my request. They have resolved my request and have sent the right information to the DNS server in order to get the right web links for me. Okay. Otherwise, if uh, the wrong information is getting forwarded to DNS server, so DNS server will not help us to get land on to the right page, right web links. It will give us the wrong information then. But here in between, the router or anything that you're using, the hub or the switch or the element in between, whatever we are using, it has rectified this and has made a right request. We got a right response, and everything is going right over here. But what happens is ARP poisoned is the ARP system gets poisoned. Means at the hub or switch level, what will happen? The user will monitor like what address you want to visit. Like for example, the traffic from your end will go to hub, and also it will before hub it will go to the malicious user. Okay, like via hub, like it will go likewise. I'll just help you. Like how it goes. This one here and this one here. Just help you to understand like how the traffic flow goes. Okay, so it goes to malicious user and from hub and switch, and this is the so based on this, can you identify whether it is bypassing the hub or switch, Jacob? Is it bypassing the router that you're using at your end?
No, I don't think it's bypassing, but it's going
It's,
through it, but it's not
yeah,
bypassing it.
yeah. It's not bypassing, but it is just monitoring the hub switch, you can say. It is like what it is doing, it is governing this hub switch, and whenever you make any address written over here on any of the browser or anywhere, it will go via hub switch and then gateway and then reach on to DNS, and DNS will help you to land on to the page, right page on the internet, right? But here at the first element, which is of hub switch, where to which we are connected, so whenever we make any whenever we type any address, it will go from hub switch to the malicious user, and malicious user will see that yeah, you have typed AMZON, which is something wrong. What I will do, I will send that I want the results for AMZON only, not for AMAZON. Means it will disable or decrease the capacity of this hub and switch to provide the right information going forward to the DNS and land onto the right page. Means it's called as poisoning, right? What does the poisoning means? Poisoning means everything was pure in between, from user to hub switch to gateway, and gateway to DNS in between, and then to the internet. But they have poisoned the operation of this hub switch. What will happen whenever you type any address? It will go via hub switch to the malicious user. Malicious user will read out your information and initiate a request which states that I don't want AMAZON. I just want the AMZON. Okay, so if there is anything which with AMZON domain name, so then you will land on to that page only. Like for example, I've created my own web page where I have written Amazon spelling as AMZON. Unfortunately, if you type the same address over here, so it will not get resolved in between. What will happen? It will consider the same spelling and it will help you to land on to the same page, which is not legit but created by me. And then you will think that yeah, this is something legit where I have got landed. Because most of the users, they will not, like for example here, they will not think about this page, like where they will not check the spelling, what is the spelling of this and what is the spelling of this and all. They'll just directly go onto this page and they'll just type here and just enter their credentials, whatever they have, right? They will not check the spelling. But what if I create the same similar page, but just by removing the A in between, and I use it whenever any user types the wrong spelling of Amazon, and which will help me to get more customers to land onto my page, which is for the misspelled domain. Means you understood the whole scenario, Chekhov, justice.
Yes,
Means what's
yes, yes.
happening over here. Here the normal traffic is getting routines, but here what I'm doing, I'm just maintaining the database. Like for example, I'm having tens and thousands of users, and I have like compromised or monitoring your switch or monitoring the sessions which are occurring at switch. So like for example, I have observed like 10 users has increased, has what you can say has uh, initiated or has mentioned the address has wrong or as the domain is wrong. Like for example, Google they are typing as GOGLE while the spelling is wrong, right? And Amazon instead of Amazon they have typed AMZON. So then for Facebook they have typed as FCB double OK. So I'll prepare a list of those users or I'll prepare a list of those domains which user has wrongfully entered, and then I will create a spoofed website for that. So which will help me like whenever I'll get any kind of this wrong request, I will just help them by landing onto the same page with same spellings. So means you understood the whole scenario, because whenever you create any spoof page, it remains on the internet. Internet will not say that it is something fake. It is our duty to determine whether it is a fake or a real one, because they are not doing anything wrong, right? If I create the page with amzon.in, uh, is it wrong, Jacob?
It's not wrong.
It's not wrong because I'm just using my own spelling, and Amazon owns the right of AMAZON. It doesn't owns the right of AMZON, so which I'm creating for my purpose, right? So you can find the similar pages also, right? Let's search for Google. Let's search what you'll get. Not waiting over here because what this vendors will do, they will buy these domains also. Like I'll just type over here. So as you can see, it is there. Is this domain is there somewhere? Okay. So what I will do, instead of this not secure, I will make it as HTTPS with good certificate owned by Jacob and Justice, and creating a Google page which will similarly look like Google, and people will think that they are on the right page, but they are on the wrong page. So this was the whole concept of ARP poisoning. That what can happen with ARP poisoning. We learned about two types of poisoning today. We can say one was for DNS, where the help desk or the DNS gets compromised. Means whatever the request that you're making from here to DNS in between, if the DNS is compromised, it will give you the wrong page. This is the one way where you will get landed onto the wrong page. And the second is by monitoring the sessions or by compromising the sessions or by governing the sessions of this hub or switch by malicious use. So two ways you can land the user onto the wrong page, by two ways. First is by compromising the DNS, and second is by ARP poisoning, which is address resolution protocol poisoning. So you understood the concept, Jacob, of this?
Yes, yes, I got it.
So yeah, you can relate it with the common examples, because if we go more technically, then it will be like difficult for us to remember for future. So that's why I just help you to understand it with the right examples, because then you will remember it forever. So I hope this strategy and this is something useful for you, Jacob. Stis.
It's very useful, and it's like
Yeah,
an attack we see,
yeah,
like I've seen before.
yeah. Like if I go back to this diagram, you will easily be able to identify like what was happening and what we learned from this diagram. So like memory from what I can say, the visual memory is more stronger than the what I can say, the audio memory. Whatever we hear is different, but whatever we see, we will not forget it easily, right? So this diagram
Yes.
is indirectly helping you to get the visual memories over here. So
Yes.
we are on
Yes.
to the last point, which is botnet attack. So botnet is nothing but, let's consider, I will explain you like what is botnet. We have just 5 minutes, so we'll go through this tomorrow in depth. But yeah, I will just help you with the short diagram of it, like what is the botnet and what it is. Okay, so let's consider these are all the botnets. Okay, this is the command and control server. Okay, this is the attacker, and these are the systems where we want to attack. Just it can be one or many. Targeted system can be one or many. Okay, so here what I'm doing is, okay, this is my command and control. So we'll just write it as CNC. This is botnet. Okay, and this is the target. And this, okay, right. So we'll go through this diagram by tomorrow. But can you imagine like what might happen with this botnet and what can it be used for? Like I'm just drawing my diagram parallelly, so you will get the hints also parallelly. Anything from you, Jacob? Like what you think is happening over here?
Okay. Mm,
Yeah, you can.
okay.
Don't
I
hesitate.
think.
Right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Your opinion matters a lot.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can
So this is
disagree
looking
with
like a. It's looking like a
yeah.
DDoS.
Yeah, you identified it very, what I can say, appropriate, I can say.
Yeah, it's
So
looking
here,
like a
what is,
DDoS
yeah, so like for
where
example,
the attacker configured like some systems to work as a bot.
yeah,
So so when the attacker gives the
yeah,
instruction on one system, he replicates that to the multiple
yeah,
systems and assigns to the attacker to the victim's system through the network.
yes, 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 yes. So here, this is the command and control server where I have created virtual machines. Let's consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, means I need not to have like tens and thousands of systems. I can make uh, virtual machines on single system itself. Like this is the server which I'm using, where I'm just hosting 6 or 7 VMs. Okay, and on which each VM I'm having a botnet for a type of command or type of script running. So whenever I just initiate from here, like I will just press a command that just enable all of my VMs and enable whatever the scripts that are over there, and just enable them to run it as soon as possible. So what will happen? All the VMs present on this will get enabled, will get logged in, and the botnet command or the botnet script which I have over there, so it will automatically get run. Okay, and what is the command that I have given is every botnet should give like thousands of requests to the targeted system. So you can just imagine the level of attack, Jacob. If I'm receiving, if any system is receiving, or if any web server is receiving thousands of requests, what will happen, Jacob?
So
It,
either slow down or crash.
yeah, it will get crash. It will have the bad performance, or it will get stuck for at least 10 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour. So this is like completely command oriented mechanism in which, like, for example, you and me and you, me and Justice, we decide that we'll have our own server in which we'll create the 10 VMs, and on each VM we'll have the botnet uh, created, or a botnet script over there. Okay, and what we will do is we will initiate the similar commands for each VM and each botnet. Only the target address will be different. Okay, so for first botnet, the target address should be this 1234 IP. For second, 55678. Then for third, 9, 10, 11, 12. For fourth, 13, 14, 15, 16. Or you can provide the range also, range of IPs. So this is something the botnet attack. I will not help you to understand like how to create the bot and how to uh, initiate the attack. But here I have just given you the idea about like how the botnet attack happens. You got it, Chekhov Justice?
Yes, but is it
Yeah.
similar to the DDoS?
Yeah, because they perform the DDoS by botnet because they cannot keep the users on every system that they are utilizing, right? It's impossible, we can say, right? Means you understood the concept. I cannot, like, instead of earlier, what used to happen here, we used to have 10 or 4 systems, okay, and every then on each system the user used to be there, which used to manually enter the command, and then the DDoS used to get performed. But here botnet is there, which is like a user for us. Okay, means we need not to hire anyone to perform the DDoS. Here botnet, which is free, is performing the function of user. Since you understood the concept, Jacob,
Yes, yes. So can the
is how it
botnet
is.
be also,
Yeah.
sorry, can the botnet be also like configured in like another system aside from the like to work as a
User, work as a user.
yes,
You are
yes,
aware of chatbots, right? Chatbot. Whenever we visit any website, shopping website, the chatbot will be there in the corner, right? It works as a
yes,
user for us. It works as a help desk for us. Whenever we ask them anything, they will give us the right response, right? Most probably, not
yes.
100%, but they help us in getting at least the 80% of right response. So same is happening over here. Here the botnet, what is used for something wrong. Here the botnet is used for performing the DDoS, we can say. Right. And that's, you're aware of VM, virtual machines.
So question?
Virtual machine.
Yes, I know what a virtual machine is.
Yeah, great. Then what I will do, I will have like around 5 to 6 virtual machines on your system or server. Server, we can say, because they're the hypervisor and all comes. So on server, what I will do, I will install 10 virtual machines, and on each virtual machine I will have a single botnet or 3 or 4 botnets. Means what type of frequency I want for my attack, it depends on that. On each virtual machine I will have a botnet. What will happen, that botnet will perform the function and will send a thousands of requests automatically whenever that are intended for that, we can say they are not intended for any good work. They are intended for sending the thousands of odd requests to the targeted system. So if thousands of requests have been sent, then our mission is accomplished. We can say the system or the website or the server gets shut down or crashed. So you understood, Jacob, now?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So we are not like uh, like having the separate system or separate thing for that. We are using a single server with good storage and good RAM, and we are just utilizing a part of our RAM and part of our storage for creating the VM. So likewise, we'll create number of VMs, and each VM will be having the botnet, and botnet will do the odd functions for us. So this is the whole concept. This is the whole picture, you can say. You understood it, right? So like tomorrow you can just go and create the VMs and botnet and perform the odd functions, but we please don't do that because it's like a fun and playful for us, but we don't know what is the other side of the coin. If somebody is wondering like who is performing this DDoS, then you will come to us. So you understood that thing, Jacob?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Okay, then so this so the concept that we learned in our like last 3 days are the major concepts of network level attacks. We learned DDoS, DOS, MIT, spoofing, network scanning, port scanning, packet sniffing, DNS attack, or hijacking. We can call it as an ARP poisoning, ARP spoofing, and botnet the last one. So everything seems to be interesting, right, Jacob?
Yes.
Like these are like the basics we can say, Jacob. Like once you get more deep dive into this, understanding more technical perspective, understanding how to create the botnets, how to create the VMs, and it will be like automatically you'll get involved or get engaged with all this task at your end, which is great.
Okay. So just unique question. So what's just the difference between, because you mentioned the docs and the botnet. So what's the difference between the DDoS and this botnet?
DDoS is a kind of attack. DDoS is specifically for denial of service attack. Okay, where the intention is clear that we want to send number of requests and we want to shut down this website or stop the traffic on this website. Here the intention is clear in DDoS or DOS. Okay, but in the botnet, here your intention can differ. Okay, sometimes you will perform the DDoS. Okay, sometimes you will perform the brute force. Okay, brute force means entering the login IDs and passwords randomly on the website which has been targeted. So here the types of attack can be different by using botnet. Botnet can be used for different types of attack. So DDoS was the one type of attack which botnet can perform. So there are different attacks which botnet can help us in, Jacob. So this is like the major difference between botnet and DDoS. DDoS is a single type of attack, okay, while botnet is a medium which can help us to perform DDoS plus different types of other attacks. Is you understood whole thing, Chekhov? So you understood the difference between this both?
Yeah. Like botnet is
Yeah,
like a system
medium
on
for
its
us.
own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
And in
a
that system
small system.
you
Yeah,
can perform
it's
other attacks to the
yes. It's
system.
like a small system which we created in a virtual environment, and it is helping us in DDoS, sometimes brute force, sometimes unauthenticated logins, sometimes any different kinds of attack you can perform by using botnet. It depends on the script that you have developed. It depends on the command that you have given to the botnet or you have configured botnet in which manner. So it depends on that. What is your purpose for creating this botnet? So botnet is like a medium for us, which helps us to perform the different types of attack. So DDoS is one among those. It's not necessarily required that botnet is required for the DDoS. You can do it individually also. But here the frequency will be very less. Like if you use your system to perform the DDoS, then only 1 or 2 requests will be sent per minute or per second, we can say, right? But if we use the botnet, then we can increase the frequency of our request made. That's why the botnet comes into your picture. Understood, Jacob? Now the scenario. Like for
Yes,
example,
yes.
we three are there in the list. Okay, if you want to perform DDoS manually, so only 3 requests will be sent per second. Okay, but if we each one of us create 10 VMs in each one of our system, and if we install hundreds of botnet in single VM, so you can imagine how we can increase the frequency of our DDoS. Okay, instead of shutting down the website in 10 minutes, it will get shut down in within a minute, increasing the frequency of request. So botnet helps us to increase the frequency of any attack, DDoS or anything, any other. You understood the whole thing, Jacob?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay, okay. I hope it was helpful for you. So we'll make it more eco-friendly. I welcome your queries, your questions, and your what I can say experiences relating to whatever we are learning on our daily course. So we'll make it more and friendly. And please don't hesitate to ask your queries as though you asked me today. So I welcome your queries, and yeah, it will help you to clear your vision, mission, and clear all of your doubts. So yeah, have a good rest of your day. Next day, of justice. So see you tomorrow.
all right, thank you so much. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye
no
bye.
problem. No
All
problem.
right,
See you
all
tomorrow.
right, all right. Bye.
Hey, good night. Bye.